Okay, we're back. Hi everyone, this is audap. Let's continue our game of Secret Files 2 on Nintendo Switch. I had to play with the cat. She's begging for some attention. Play video games, play with the cat. It's my life. Worry about whether I'm going to have a job tomorrow. Which is pretty much everybody in the world at this point in time.
Seems to be an old map of what is France these days. There's a legend on the panel next to it. The king was in dire straits. He had withdrawn to Provence, and the options he had left did not bode well. Meanwhile, his opponent sat back and eagerly watched the spectacle unfold from his country estate in Brittany.
Okay, so those are our hints. And oddly enough, just want to put the pieces in place first.
This is one of the missing stones from the mosaic in the ruined church. It depicts a pawn. I inserted all the stones, but I suppose their exact placement makes a difference as well.
Okay, so now we have the ability to actually move these. So I can take this, and the knight can go here. Alright, because this is 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it's sort of cut off from the top. Oh, that makes it a little harder. Crap. Okay, let's see. So our bishop should go here. Come on. Alright. And our king should go in here.
What? A mechanical bridge emerging from the ceiling in a chapel that is 350 years old? Whatever lies behind this door, it must be invaluable. I can only hope and pray that this is Cardinal Coubertin's secret archive. Wow, what a sight! Latin. I learned some Latin in school, but not enough to read through a whole archive.
Remember, you've still got me. Just how did you do it?
To cut a long story short, I did really well.
Indeed, but I haven't been idle myself. I managed to obtain some information that should help us find the documents fairly soon. I cannot believe how well preserved these records are. We've got something right here, along with the Puritas Cordis documents that Brother Bernard sent to the Cardinal back in the 17th century. Let me recap what I have found out so far. It seems that Zendona returned from one of his pilgrimages to the Holy Land a changed man. Apparently, He had a vision during this journey. From then on, he was completely obsessed with founding a theocratic state.
Very modest.
Yes, but extremely convincing, as we know. He visited small villages as a preacher of repentance, warning the sinners that the day of judgment was nigh, and uttering dark prophecies.
Which he personally made come true. A reign of terror based on everyone's fear of the apocalypse.
Yes, and remarkably successful. His following grew almost by the hour, especially in rural areas. People flocked to him in droves. The harbingers of the apocalypse are listed here again. First pestilence and disease, then the punishment of the greedy, followed by war, earthquakes, fire, and a great flood.
We all know that, but what comes next?
The harbingers are supposed to make the rulers of the world gather in the new Babel and hold council. That's where Puritas Cordis is planning to destroy them one and all in order to create a new world order. The sect thinks itself the elite of humanity.
The new Babel. What can that... New York! It could mean New York! Puritas Cordis wants to annihilate the UN General Assembly. We have to call my father. He
will go down, along with the rest of the unworthy ones. We represent the will of God. No one can stop us. Least of all you two. Come along.
Guess we should have closed the door on our way in, huh?
Quick, run! So we meet again, Ms. Kalenkow. You remember me, don't you? The charming barkeeper aboard the Calypso? But enough with the pleasantries. Regrettably, your continued attempts to stop us are about to come to an abrupt end.
No!
There goes another nuisance. Can we get going now, or would you rather follow your pal? No? All right, let's go then. We are taking a little trip to the countryside.
Dun 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 dun.
I've been stuck in this cell for hours, waiting for that Pat Shelton character to come back. Wish I knew what he wants with me, and how Nina is involved in all this. There's got to be some kind of connection to what happened in Indonesia. Okay, let me think. They deliberately caused a volcanic eruption, and I'm a witness. If I follow that thought through, I can't help but suspect they're probably none too eager to let a witness to their evil doings run around free. Which tells me this is not going to be a picnic. I'd better get out of here, and fast. The question is, how? I have got to find something to help me escape.
Okay.
This stuff is damp and moldy and stinks like crazy. Phew. The smell might be an effective weapon, but I somehow think I'd be the first to pass out, so I'll just leave it there. I assume this apple hasn't always been white and fuzzy. Phew. The smell Ugh, do I have to? Well, I guess so. This is for picking up trash without having to bend over. Very convenient for old people, or lazy ones. A cast iron stove door. I think the members of the sect wear these hooded robes to hide their ugly faces. That's actually very considerate of them. Looks like an alarm button. A number pad for entering codes. Yes, I want out. If anybody can tell me how to achieve that, I am open to suggestions.
Alright, let's throw our apple at the picker.
If I manage to hit the trash picker and it falls in the right direction... Great, it worked.
Alright, I'll reach the door.
Just need to pull the door off its hinges and... Done. Right. All it takes now is opportunity, a firm whack, and fast legs.
Follow me. Pat Shelton wants to see you.
Uh-oh. Tackling two people with my stove door is out of the question. I should wait for a better opportunity.
I am so glad you could make it. There is something I would like to show you.
Nina!
Yes,
Max!
Nina Kalenkow and Max Gruber. I would love to leave you to properly celebrate your reunion, but we haven't got the time, I'm afraid. The reason for our little gathering is quite simple. There are some things you want to know and some things that I want to know. You claim it is a coincidence that while in two completely different parts of the world, you happen to develop an interest in the very same matter. How can you expect anyone to believe that? That would be highly unlikely, even if you were total strangers. But in your case, and your collaboration with David Correll of the Church Intelligence Service is certainly more than just coincidence. I don't know who you are working for, but you must know more than you have told me. A lot more. And yet, I am sure you do not know everything. So let us make a deal. I will now show you what you want to know. You see, truth is like an eternal flame. You can try to conceal it, try to shade it, but it cannot be extinguished. And the truth has long stopped hiding its ugly face behind the veil of technology and progress. It shows its terrible grimace day by day. 660 children starve to death every hour. Millions of people slave away in horrible, degrading circumstances, while their boss has become richer and fatter all the time. The deserts are expanding, the polar caps are melting, the ozone hole is growing, the climactic catastrophe is at hand! Every day, we do our best to destroy our planet with all the powers at our command. Today alone, another 140 or so animal and plant species have become extinct.
I know, it's terrible. So, Can you make this world a better place?
Yes, I can. Zandona was a great prophet. Too great for his time. His vision could not be brought to life in the 17th century. Today, things are different.
Vision? Zandona never had any visions. He was just a very sick man who wanted to destroy the world.
Destroy? How blind you are! He never wanted to destroy the world! He only wished to root out the evil that is responsible for all the destruction in our world. I will show you. This is La Palma, one of the Canary Islands, a paradise for sun-loving tourists. For us, the island holds quite another fascination, the Cumbre Vieja volcano. The brittle western slope of the volcano is covered in clefts and fissures where water has collected. And now for the interesting part. By placing several bombs in carefully calculated spots, we can use thermonuclear explosions to heat that water so that it will evaporate instantaneously. If you had paid attention in your physics classes, you would know that such a sudden evaporation of water would create sufficient pressure to shatter the volcano's brittle slope and send it crashing into the sea. Can you guess what comes next? That's right, a tsunami. Waves 200 meters high will charge across the Atlantic with the speed of an airplane. The tsunami will sweep across the east coast of the United States. New York will disappear in an apocalyptic flood, taking with it the self-proclaimed rulers of the world who are currently squabbling in blind incompetence at the UN headquarters. The resulting vacuum of power will be filled by our followers, some of whom have been biding their time in key positions for decades. They will take control and lead humankind to a new golden age.
Oh, it seems like a rather complicated plan.
Except for the people on the East Coast. I guess you won't be leading them anywhere.
Haven't you been listening to me? I told you this is about saving the world.
By leaving millions of people to drown? How is that saving them?
I am saving them from their own destructiveness. They would kill each other anyway, sooner or later. But in that case, not just a couple of million people would die, but the basis for our existence on this planet would be permanently destroyed. Don't you see? Those who hold the power in this world are leading us to our doom, day by day. But now, we have a chance of seizing this evil by the root and wiping it out, once and for all. Without its rulers, humankind will be as helpless as a flock of sheep without a shepherd. They will turn to God and to Puritas Cordis, for we are the ones who saw the catastrophe coming and who know how to avert any further disasters.
And nobody suspects that Puritas Cordis caused those disasters in the first place.
It does not befit the sheep to question the will of the shepherd. We will teach people to live devoutly. We will teach them the ways of Zandona, and we will welcome them to the new state of God. They will be led by our supporters, chosen from among the wisest of the wise and the most pious of the devout.
And what will your role be in that state?
Mine will be the voice that proclaims the will of God.
In other words, you will rule over all the rest. So this is really about power, as always.
Certainly, the power of the Lord. But that's enough of me, enough of us. I have fulfilled my part of the bargain and told you much that you probably did not know. At least, not in so much detail. Now it's your turn to uphold your end. Who are you working for? What do you know? Who else knows it? And how does the Church Intelligence Service mean to prevent the inevitable? We had an agreement! Talk!
Who are we working for? Church Intelligence Service? I don't know what you're talking about, but all that Zandona nonsense seems to have softened your brain. That's the only explanation I can think of.
I will not be made a fool of. Very well. You asked for it. You see the grave over there? It's fresh. All that's missing is a body. So, for the last time, what do you know? Who have you told? And what has the Church Intelligence Service got to do with it?
Oh, do I even know anything? I don't think I do. I'm just gonna say nothing. I actually don't really know what he's talking about.
Sorry, I don't know anything about any intelligence service. And your people shot the man who might have been able to tell you more about it in cold blood.
If you think this is some kind of game, you are badly mistaken. A totally unnecessary death, brought on by your own foolish stubbornness. I shall give you some time to think about the error of your ways. Maybe you will be a bit more cooperative when we talk again. Take her to the cell.
Oh, what have I done? Max is dead. I should have prevented this. No matter how, I should have prevented it. I was the only one who could have averted this disaster. I could have saved my father. I could have saved Max. Yes, I could have. And what did I actually do? I am responsible for the death of David Corell, who died trying to help me escape. I sealed the fate of Max with a single wrong answer, and my father will be next. And what am I doing? Sitting here in a cell, waiting for it all to end. I hope it will be over soon.
Everyone should have their own stove door. It's a good thing I carry all kinds of stuff around with me. A vase made of plastic.
That's right. Take everything that's not tied down.
The gravestone bears the name Fifi. So this is where the dog is buried. Even dogs have a right to rest in peace. The charred remains of a doghouse. It's just a ruin, but even so, it is too bulky to carry around with me. Okay, let's say spade. Looks like this is a guard's patrol route.
Oh, whoops. I want to examine the place more.
From that position, The guard can not only watch the prison, but also has a perfect view of the inner courtyard, too. Not the best conditions for getting out of here alive. There's nothing to see except solid bars and a wall beyond. Looks like this is a guard's patrol route. It's one of those nasty contraptions that will kill mice. Looking at the size of that piece of cheese, I'd rather not know what kind of monster-sized mice they're trying to catch here. There's no way I can squeeze through there. I'm far too muscular. There's nothing to There's no way.
There's nothing to see there? Okay, fine.
Well, hello. You're not mourning my death, are you?
Max! Max, you're alive!
Shh, not so loud. Otherwise, that might change pretty quickly.
Max, you have no idea how glad I am to see you.
Who would have thought I'd ever hear you say that? Ms. Kalenkow, you amaze me.
Of course. You don't have any witnesses.
Never mind. If seeing me return from the dead makes you this happy, maybe I should do it more often.
Just as crazy as ever, I see.
Would you really want that to change?
No, not really. But how come you're still alive?
I'll explain later. For now, let's concentrate on finding a way out of here.
Agreed. Do you have a plan?
No, not yet. You know me. But we'll think of something.
Okay, but be quick about it. Pat Shelton might come back at any minute. By the way, in case I haven't mentioned it yet, I'm glad you're still alive.
I just love hearing you say that.
Oh, I can switch between the two? Okay. Do I need to switch to him?
My stay in Paris wasn't so bad, but will I ever get out of here alive? Since I happen to be tied up, I would have a hard time doing that.
I've got to think of a way to get Nina out of there before Pat Shelton comes back. I can't see any weak spots, no matter how closely I look. This looks extremely solid. It may not be stainless steel, but it's pretty effective all the same. The bars are too close together. No way I can squeeze through there.
Hmm.
Did Pat Shelton use this for his sermons on television? Not that I really care. Little Red Riding Hood, Hansel and Gretel, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, 666, the devil's number and its significance in mathematics, the 7 deadly sins, and 150 delicious microwave dishes. This is used to cool bruises and sprains. A pile of soccer magazines, aptly titled 11 Friends. Soccer tips aren't going to help me now. I might as well leave them here. Two empty sacks. A rickety old table. This model was built long before the invention of color television, but at least it's battery operated.
Oh, okay. And just fit a whole TV on me, huh?
A handheld game console.
Ooh, original Game Boy.
It actually still works, but there's no game inserted. This thing is so old, it's not even electric. It still works. One of those wire contraptions you're given when you buy cheap clothes. The yard is that way, but the minute I step outside, the guard will see me. Not a good idea. Yes, this should work. That way I can spring the mousetrap and still keep all my fingers. I rather like that idea. I just saved an innocent little mouse from a gruesome fate and got a big piece of cheese as a reward. Looks like this is a guard's patrol route. The bars look pretty. No time to talk. Decisive action is what's needed now. Got to think. can't see it.
Oh, can I not switch back to Nina? Oh, I guess not. Okay. Well, not much I can do there then.
The thermometer is displaying 19 degrees Celsius. Guess I'm shivering because of nerves rather than temperature then. Looks like this is a guard's patrol route. This leads to the cellar. The guard will spot me if I enter the inner courtyard. And I'd rather not imagine what that would lead to. If I were looking for the perfect example of an evil mastermind's dim-witted henchman, I'd say I've found him. The guard will spot... The temperature display has dropped down to 8 degrees.
Since I happen to be tied up, I would have a hard time doing that. Ugh, that stuff smells horrible, but at least the little critters in there are keeping me company. Since I happen to be... That's the way to freedom. But there's still a guard between me and freedom, not to mention a few iron bars and the ties that bind me. I think I'm going to call the guard. Hello?
What's up? Why are you yelling like that?
I'm cold.
It's cold in here. Not just a bit chilly, but really freezing.
Cold? It sometimes gets cold in January in Siberia.
Very funny. But you'll soon stop laughing when your boss finds out I can't help him anymore, because I've frozen to death. I'll give you 3 guesses who's going to be blamed for that. I sure wouldn't like to be in your shoes.
All right, have it your way. I'll go and check. But you had better not be pulling my leg.
Yes, sure.
What do you know? You're right. Looks like the temperature has dropped quite a bit. It's down to a mere 8 degrees Celsius now. That's odd. I still feel cozy and warm.
It's probably the vodka. So, can I have something to warm me up now?
Share my vodka? Forget it. but I'm sure that nobody needs this cowl here. I can cover you with that. Don't do anything stupid, though. Right. And now, be quiet.
All right. Thanks. I'm hungry.
And I'm thirsty.
Yes, but unlike me, you can go and get yourself a drink. When I get hungry, I have to rely on you to bring me some food.
That's just too bad.
Starving prisoners constitutes torture, and that's against the Geneva Convention.
Geneva what?
The Geneva Convention. You know, human rights and all that.
Never heard of it, and not interested either.
You don't have to be. All you have to be interested in is the fact that I'm hungry.
You're getting on my nerves.
I know. Do I get to eat now?
No!
That will do for now. Go ahead. Leave me to my misery.
As you say.
I really don't like having to switch characters. I liked it was much simpler when I had to play one or the other. Okay, she has a robe, and that means I can get a robe. So I can use that as a disguise. I'll just take that from you, Nina.
Nina,
Yes?
you look a little warm. Wouldn't you like to take something off?
Is that all you can think about, even in this situation?
Not really, but for now, the cowl is most important. I'll see to the rest later.
Don't you dare.
I love it when you're helpless. I've got the cowl, and Nina is cold again. Life is all about giving and taking. It's the perfect disguise, as long as I'm not forced to remove the hood. The bars are too close. I can't...
Okay. Alright, so I'll have to use some ingenuity here. Take my old coat hanger and on the TV.
Use this as an aerial? Why not? It worked for my grandparents.
Yeah, little antenna. Then, strangely enough, that is the thing that works. On an old ass TV like that, that would definitely work. Let's put this over here.
I'll put the television down here for now.
Oh, no, I don't want to do that. I want to take it. Come over here.
put the television...
Okay, why don't we stop it there? This is Audapostrophe. You've been watching Secret Files 2 on Nintendo Switch. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching. I will see you at the next stream.